Well, good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Ben.
Happy Tuesday to you. How are you doing today?
I'm much better now I've had some coffee.
I was actually going to say, this is, for those uninitiated to what we do, John is Scottish, and we have a morning meeting, me, John, and Adam.
How can you tell?
Right? Well, me, John, and Adam have a morning meeting every morning, around 10:45. We start.
Well, no, this is the problem. It's not supposed to be around 10:45. It's supposed to be at 10:45.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I'll give you that. It's supposed to be at 10:45 a.m. and sometimes, like this morning, for reasons which we have all had a little chuckle about ourselves behind the scenes, I was 6 or 7 minutes late. I will just say 2 words: personality, vacuum. Personality, vacuum.
Yeah, and that's not me, you or Adam.
No, it's not. Oh my God, I've had a morning. But John comes to this meeting like, it's like, I don't know. It's a completely different person, right?
It's like Marcus Aurelius Decimus giving his speech.
It's like you want to hear the word grumpy, right? The word grump. I mean, this man over here. Whew,
I mean, who would think it?
What I will say is this, John. I think you need to have your first coffee of the morning a little earlier.
Yeah,
maybe?
possibly.
Maybe
possibly.
have your first coffee around 9, and then we can go into it.
I mean, I cheered up quite dramatically after the coffee, didn't I?
You definitely did. You definitely did. Anyway, John.
Ben.
I'm going to put you on a lovely big screen so you can introduce us.
Good afternoon and welcome to this episode 148 of Chasing Dissent Live from me, John, and from Ben. It's episode 148.
Well, I think we just kick things straight off because there's been some news.
Oh, I tell you what, hold on a minute.
Okay, I'll put us back to us. Yeah.
So this being Scotland, right? We didn't get the chance to see the partial eclipse this morning.
Neither did we.
But the sun's out now.
Well, once again,
I haven't seen the sun for 3 weeks.
Well, once again, we were on our morning meeting this morning. We're talking about this so-called partial eclipse, and I opened the door and went outside, and you could all hear me. And I shouted to the personality vacuum and the other people that were here, does that look like an eclipse to you? Because it certainly didn't look like an eclipse to me, John.
No, it didn't. So, and for those that are wondering, it's going to be spooky until after Halloween.
Yeah.
And even then it might. I think we should keep the spook run until after the 5th.
The 5th of November.
Yes, remember the 5th of
Speaking
November.
of the 5th of November, there might be a little request for crowdsourcing going on soon because I am considering going to London on the 5th. And doing some coverage / streaming maybe, because there are 2 protests going on. The first one is the Million Mask March. I went last year. I got blown up by a firework. If you remember, my leg got burnt.
Yep.
And the second one is a general election now protest. And both these things are happening within a very close vicinity of one another and will ultimately, I imagine, culminate on Parliament Square. So if this is something you guys want to see, then hit me up, let me know in the comments, and we'll see if we can source like the parking and things like that.
And wait, if you are sourcing, source for 2.
Oh, okay.
I'll see what I can achieve.
Jesse says in the chat.
I may have to come down by public transport.
Yeah, might have to fly.
Yeah.
But Jesse says in the chat, don't get hit by fireworks again, Ben. Well, Jess, it's not like I planned to get hit by fireworks.
Yes,
it's not
that's like saying, That's like saying don't get shot.
Yeah. Well,
You know, when you're in a war.
Precisely, John. Precisely, my good man. Anyway, shall we move into the news?
Yes, let's get into the news.
Let's do it.
Right, so what's happened in this poor country that we call Britain?
Well, it's a banana republic now, isn't it, John?
Right. Well, see, and this is the part I really don't like. Okay, because this cityam.com have a headline here. What does it say, Ben? What does this headline say?
It says Rishi Sunak will be crowned as UK's next Prime Minister.
And this is what's wrong with people. These people are not your leaders.
No, they're not.
They're not there to rule you.
They're your representatives.
Exactly. They are your public servants.
Yes.
And the sooner you get that into your thick skulls, the better. Stop kowtowing to them. In fact, I would say this is now an illegal government. It has no mandate in my eyes.
No, I don't recognise it.
You know.
But then you know us. We will struggle to recognise any government. To be fair.
Yeah, indeed. Because as we continually say, government only has two aims: one, keep the people under control; two, feather your own nest.
Absolutely. And people are pointing out the massive 33 in pride of place on this picture. Now, you can make of that whatever you would like. I'm not gonna delve deeper into it, but there is definitely symbology and meaning for many within that. Shall we move on to our next slide, John?
Yes. Let's listen to Rishi giving a fantastic speech.
Are we ready?
When he spoke at the Conservative HQ. Yeah, we're ready. Let's go.
To deliver for the British people.
So what was happening there, John?
Well, I think it was a reboot.
Rishi's reboot. Rishi's reboot.
He's obviously a robot or an automaton of some kind, or maybe he's been programmed in. His programming didn't cover, or it covered for longer than it should have. So he had nothing to say and hadn't had the instruction to turn and walk off stage. So like Biden, he just sort of froze and could do nothing until that next instruction filtered through.
Yeah.
Turn, walk off.
Yeah, no, you could be right. You could be right. Now, this next thing, I'm just seeing this for the first time, actually. This is quite concerning, isn't it? So this is a tweet from Suzanne Seddon, showing a tweet from Narendra Modi. I guess that's the Prime Minister of India.
That is the Prime Minister of India, yeah.
So look at this tweet from Suzanne first. It says, new British PM Rishi Sunak is welcomed by Indian PM Modi, who openly advocates enforcing the WEF's globalist agenda 2030 on to Britain. Now, we're not allowed to say the word globalist anymore because some idiot on Twitter made up that it's anti-Semitic, right?
I don't understand how.
Well,
I mean,
I'll tell you how.
Earth thing? Is that
no.
Thing?
I'll tell you what it is. Whenever someone doesn't want attention drawn to something, they then say that something is racist, it's anti-Semitic, it's this, that, and the other. It's the playbook, and it's repeated again and again and again and again. It is true. Anyway, let's look at this tweet from Narendra Modi. It says, Rishi Sunak, as you become UK PM, I look forward to working closely together on global issues and implementing Roadmap 2030. Special Diwali wishes to the living bridge of the UK Indians as we transform our historic ties into a modern partnership.
Right, there's a lot to unpack here, but let's just start with the 2030 roadmap, which comes from the WEF.
It does.
Yeah?
Well, the United Nations as well, right?
Yeah, okay. Remind me of the countries that really don't follow any of these roadmaps. That would be
China is asshole.
That would be China.
Mm-hmm.
Putin!
Brazil. And what's that other country? India. Yeah. So India wants us to follow the roadmap, but has no intention and no what would you call it? No need, no what would you call it when somebody doesn't want to do something?
Well, they don't want to
Anyway,
do something.
They
It's as
just
simple
don't
as
want
that.
to do it. They don't want to do it. They just want to keep burning coal. They want to keep dumping the rubbish in the rivers. They want to keep just throwing dead bodies in the rivers.
Yep.
Don't bother doing anything like that. Burn them at the side of the river and dump the ashes while they're having a good scrub. I mean, I suppose you could use the ashes to defoliate, couldn't you? To exfoliate. Yeah, I'm just exfoliating with your grandfather.
Oh, fucking hell. We try not to swear on this show, but look where he's going. Look where he's going.
Am I saying anything that doesn't happen?
No, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And
I mean, this is the country of open defecation. And it's a common thing. This is the country of open defecation. And this is the country that has more people than land. It's the country that has squalor and also has massive riches.
Yes.
So, it's a country of contrasts.
It is absolute.
But they don't want to take any responsibility. They want us to take it all because our tiny country that has little than 1% of any output of anything, right, we're going to make a difference if we do it. No, we won't. We'll
the only thing that the only thing that these sorts of agendas do is ultimately impoverish you, I, and everybody else even further, because the mantra is from the WEF: you will own nothing and you will be
happy.
Will you be happy about owning nothing, John?
I own nothing anyway. Right. So moving on to the next part of this tweet. Right. Special Diwali wishes to the living bridge of UK Indians. So there's two parts there that we need to look at. One, I don't care. I don't know really what Diwali is or whatever.
It's the Festival of Light.
I don't care about it because, as far as I'm aware, this is not a Hindu nation. Right.
Right.
If you want to practice Hinduism, no problem.
Absolutely.
You go and do that. Right?
It's not something that we want to celebrate. Put it that way.
Yeah. But it's not something I'm going to celebrate, and I really don't care. I don't care about your holidays and your traditions or whatever, because I'm selfish. I just care about myself. I really don't care about what you want to do and how you want to practice your religion, because that's a personal and private thing.
Yeah.
So you go and do your own thing and don't force it down anyone's neck. But that's what happens more and more so. Everybody forces their religious preference down my neck, and yet I'm not entitled to I'm not entitled to say anything in either against that, or even if I was religious and wanted to support a national holiday or something, I wouldn't be allowed to, because that's white privilege.
No such thing as white privilege, John.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that. You know that. But tell the idiots out there. So that's the Diwali thing. Don't care. No interest. Okay. Next thing. What's a living bridge of UK Indians? That, to me, sounds a bit suspicious. Is this some kind of infiltration thing?
Well, honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Do they have a large group of people that just clump together and they're plotting amongst themselves? I don't know. I mean, that's what it sounds like, a living bridge.
I mean,
are they trying to connect us back to the old times of the Raj, where it's the boots on the other foot?
What you mean, revenge, John? Revenge?
Is it? Is that what's happening? I don't know. I'm asking you. It just sounds strange. And our historic ties have never really been accepted or approved of by the current modern Indian government. So why would they now want to turn it into a modern partnership unless they can make something out of it?
Well, of course, all countries and all governments want to make something out of one another, don't they?
Well,
and ultimately, that's politics.
Let's face it, they make plenty out of us because, when you lock down your economy and make everyone stay at home, and then companies realise they really don't need people in the office, they can offshore all those services to someone who can kind of speak English.
So what you're trying to tell me is there are far more Mumbai call centres popping up than used to be?
I would suspect so. I can't confirm that. I'm speaking off the top of my head here, so don't hold me to task over it. But I suspect there's a lot more jobs being offshore than used to be.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably absolutely right. Our economy is in the tank, and it's these people that did it to us. It's Rishi Sunak that did it to us. And, I saw somebody earlier on Twitter say, oh, if you're criticizing Rishi Sunak, you're a racist. Well, absolutely not. This man tanked our economy. He closed our economy. He signed off on printing all that funny money to pay you to stay at home. And I sat here for over 2 years and said to people, what do you think happens if you just keep injecting money? Do you think the value of the money that's already there stays the same? No, you get rapid inflation, you get a tanked economy, and businesses that are not allowed to trade go bust. People end up ruined. Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson and Matt Hancock are the 3 people that did this to you. They're the 3 people that did this to you. They tanked your economy, and to celebrate that one of the architects of your impoverishment has orchestrated a coup, a slimy, snaky coup, to put himself in number 10 without anyone voting for him to be there. People celebrating that, they make me sick. They make me sick. Sorry.
So, let's have a listen to what Joe had to say.
Yeah, let's have a listen to what Joe had to say.
The United Kingdom, where just today we've got news that Rishi Sunak is now the Prime Minister. As my brother would say, go figure. And the Conservative Party.
Rishi Sunak is now the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, according to Joseph R. Biden, Dementia Joe, as he is lovingly called.
But it's even better than that. Did you notice the unconscious racism?
In what way? The go figure.
No, not even the go figure.
Right.
When he said the Conservatives, incredulously.
What, like the Conservatives have elected a brown man?
Yeah.
Or installed a brown man?
Yeah,
Really?
Exactly.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't give 2 shits what your skin colour is. If you can do the job, if you're qualified to do the job, and you're doing it for the right reasons, then I'm all behind you.
Yeah, but obviously it bothers Joe.
Well, yeah, it does. It clearly bothers Joe.
Because I'll actually say it on air. I think Joe Biden's a racist.
I've long thought that Joe Biden was a racist. I mean, look at the way he used to speak about Barack Obama. He used to call him like one of the only.
He's the most intelligent black man I've met.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with you. And his current vice president, Kamala Harris, on the debate stage, looked him in the eye and called him a racist.
Yeah, and then he said, "Happy birthday, Kamala, president."
Yep, the best president I know. Happy birthday, President Kamala. Yep.
But he's only been in the Senate for 120 years.
Only 120 years. I mean, the fact that this dude is still in office, it boggles my mind, because he's clearly got no mental faculties, and the world is just watching this absolute car crash of a man.
And you know what boggles my mind?
What's that?
That I agree with Dan Wootton.
Here we go. Dan Wootton, GB News. Many millions must feel, just like me tonight, disillusioned about the state of British democracy that resembles a banana republic and politically homeless. Dan Wootton reacts to Rishi Sunak becoming Prime Minister in waiting. Well, actually, at the time of recording, if any of you follow us on TikTok, Prime Minister now, because we went live with his speech earlier on TikTok, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, that was 13 hours ago, but I actually agree with Dan Wootton.
No, I think I do as well, yeah. Politically homeless is the way that I've described myself for a long time, but people are starting to, and I know this phraseology is cliche, but people are starting to wake up. People are starting to understand that your illusion of democracy is just that. It's an illusion. You have no real democracy, because it doesn't matter which one of these two sides you vote in. They are going to have their man or their woman. They are going to have their agenda. And the only thing...
or by Crook.
Well, exactly. And the only thing that's going to happen to you is your life will either pootle on like the little wage slave that you are, or it'll get worse. You're not meant to get ahead in life. These people aren't here to make your life better. They're there to make their lives better. And that's it. The sooner the public, the broad public, start waking up and realising that it doesn't matter who you vote, red or blue, you're getting purple, the better things might become. And we might be able to actually do something about rooting this system out from the ground up and putting in something that works for us.
Yeah.
I'm on one today, aren't I, John?
Yeah, well, and the last article about Rishi, it's quite an old one, but it's obviously this is where he came from.
Oh my
because
God.
they discovered a nest of giant rats in London, and they were growing huge too. Look at the size of those rats.
I know
they're bigger than terriers.
They are massive. They are.
And look at the tails on it. Where does Rishi put his tail? Does he strap it to his leg?
I honestly, I couldn't tell you, John, but it is a very, very good question, and I think rat is the only way you can describe all of these, all 650 of them. It's not just Rishi, right? That line of rats could be absolutely any of them. Look, you got Gove there, you got Starmer there. You know, they're all the same. They're all the same.
They are all the same. Even Corbyn's a bit of a rat, and Farage.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Farage is a dead ringer for that thing out of Farscape, but we'll go back into that on Fridays when we have our all in.
Friday nights is a really fun show.
Yeah, it is.
Because
I like Friday nights.
We do swearing a lot more than we do swearing here. Yeah. But I'm gonna move now to Cassandra's box. And 114 medical professionals in Russia who died suddenly.
And this is just to show that Russia hasn't escaped the consequences of a program of treatment, because all these people have died from the age of 22 up to 63. Right, that's 114 medical practitioners, and they weren't all old.
Yeah,
by any stretch of the imagination, most of them were under 40. Okay, so that's a lot of people to die in a year, and their cause of death has all been as a result of consequence of SARS-CoV-2.
Right.
But they were all treated.
Of course they were, and obviously we can't infer anything from that.
You know what it is!
The audience just got a little look at you pushing that button there, John.
Mm-hmm.
You got any other buttons you can push for them while I got that screen up?
What would you like?
China is asshole!
Do you like the studio cam? It's a new little feature there.
Studio cam. And then we could even go. Is studio cam still on?
It is now.
Let's see about what about.
It's got a little touchscreen and everything. I didn't even realise this thing had it.
Yeah, it's got.
And with that, passengers and staff on the first major cruise liner to enter Western Australia in over 2 years have tested positive for the coof.
And remember, what is it you need to get onto a cruise liner? Just remind me.
Well, for most cruise liners at this point, it is you need to have had at least 2 vaccinations.
At least 2.
At least 2 vaccinations, yeah.
Yeah, so safe and effective.
Oh, of course, safe and effective.
That's all I can say about that.
And that's all we can say about that. But make of this what you will. I find it hilarious, to be honest.
Yeah. I do indeed. And speaking of that kind of thing, Kulvinder here has come up with some interesting stats.
Mm-hmm.
And those are quite revealing, aren't they?
Well, look, listen, Professor John Ioannidis of Stanford University, I was singing his praises from Word Dot, right? Because he did these, was it the Santa Clarita seroprevalence study right at the beginning? And his data appears to have held firm, shall we say?
It does. It has held firm, and
yeah.
And Mark Changizi, who we have a slide from, is also points us out as well, because the IFR was never an issue
No.
for people under the age of 70.
No, we knew that from the word go, but do you know what? When we reported on it, we got censored, we got banned, we got blocked, we got called liars, right? And this man, John Ioannidis of Stanford, so eminently qualified, was so sure of his findings that he went on camera and spoke about them. Those videos got banned.
Yeah, I know, and you know, I mean, it's censorship of important information that could have saved people's lives and could have saved economies.
Yeah, you know, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I don't understand why this man wasn't listened to. He was clearly right, and
it's probably because he didn't follow the narrative.
No, he just went out and he did the work, and you know,
and other people, I think people like you and me, I think we get banned and censored because we didn't follow the narrative and just reported facts.
You say you and me, it's mostly me, right? I've been absolutely attacked cross platforms. That's why I can't own a channel.
Poor Ben.
And what did I do? It was simply that I simply reported the facts as I saw them, and as I saw them was not narrative based.
No, but even then, I'd lost stuff as well. I lost channels and
well, you've lost Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because I lost a YouTube channel as well, but I didn't get banned off YouTube.
Right.
So, just for reporting actual facts.
Yeah, we just reported the facts as we saw them, and with that, we were told no. We were told you're not allowed to do that. And the thing is, with me, I would say it was even more egregious, and the reason is, I was live streaming places. Sometimes for hours on end, showing people what was or wasn't happening, and I was told I was lying.
Yeah, of course you were.
I mean, what?
Of course you were.
I mean, what?
Yeah, of course you were.
Should we move on to Intel Republic?
Yeah, let's move on. Mark here, right?
Is Mark Intel Republic?
Hold on. Where are you?
I'm on the Intel Republic. Oh, Mark Changizi. Skip past Mark. Okay. My apologies.
Right,
We're
okay.
back.
No worries. Right, so Mark here, who is a friend of the show. He's been on 4 times.
Yeah, we've spoken to him a few times.
Yeah.
We hope to have him on midterm night. You have to speak to him about that.
Yeah, he's a scientist. He's written books. He's had peer-reviewed publications in academic journals and whatever. He's come out of the academia because he didn't like the way it was going and the way it's controlled. So he's come into effect private research and practice, so as he can do his own thing, and so as he feels he can actually make a proper difference when it comes to promoting his work rather than being at the beck and call of academic funding streams, which is problematical in most cases. Because really you find what you want if your wages depend on it, won't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course you will.
And he's quite funny here because he says who was immune to collective hysteria, and he says not Scott Adams, and I would concur with that because Scott Adams.
Oh my God, he turned into the biggest frigging bedwetter going, didn't he?
What a bedwetter! He even blocked me. He blocked me in 2 previous incarnations on Twitter, because he is a massive bedwetter and refused to see the facts in front of his face.
Yeah.
And he's even blocked Mark.
I mean, what people also have to remember is, right, I am a disabled man, yeah? I have issues. I have major health issues. Sometimes I am really not well, as you guys can attest to. I mean, I had a seizure during an after party, didn't I? But I put myself at risk as far as these bedwetters were concerned. When I went to protests, when I went out to the centres, when I went out to all these places, and if I'd listened to the hysteria, if I'd listened to the narrative, if I'd listened to collective hysteria, shouldn't I be dead? Shouldn't I be dead?
Well, yeah. Well, no, you shouldn't. Because if you look at the actual data, which we brought up earlier, the chances of you dying were very, 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 very slim. Anyway, moving on.
Once I was called selfish because I bought discounted chocolate. Just during the COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bought discounted chocolate at the end of Easter. You know how the Easter eggs all go down to 10p. And I filled a trolley with them. And I took a picture and I put it on my old Twitter account when I was doing the whole, theme parks and all of that, yeah?
Yeah.
And somebody came right at me. You're selfish. That's not essential. It's not. What was wrong with these people? Honestly, what was wrong with them? The collective hysteria went as far as people on Twitter trying to corral your shopping.
But remember, vodka was always essential.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it was in Mark Drakeford's Wales as well, wasn't it? But whilst toys for your kids at Christmas weren't, while blankets and shoes for your kids at Christmas weren't, vodka, whiskey.
Yeah, always essential.
Essential. Let's move on to
Intel
Republic.
Yeah, so this is a bigger thing than just this tweet from Mr. Lavrov about a dirty bomb being prepared in Ukraine, because Russia are telling us a dirty bomb is being prepared in Ukraine by Ukraine for false flag purposes. Okay?
Right.
America's telling us there's a dirty bomb being prepared for use in Ukraine by Russia.
Right.
Right.
So who's lying?
Well, who's got the track record so far?
Well, let's face it, they're all liars.
Yeah, they are all liars, but who's got the biggest track record of lying so far? And I think that has to go to Ukraine, right? Who's previously used false flags, verifiable false flags,
well, Ukraine,
to bring themselves into wars? USA.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Okay. So, I at this minute in time, I think the balance of probabilities is that it's more likely to be a false flag than it is to be a Russian attack.
Well,
because
I was going to say, according to Soram here, Russia asked the International Atomic Agency to investigate.
Yeah, well, they have, but so the question is, Russia would have nothing to gain from a dirty bomb in Ukraine, except to bring America into a war. Right?
Yeah, and like, I'm going to go back to Soram in our chat here, who says, tell me why the 101st Airborne is on the Ukrainian border.
Can we get there?
Okay.
We're having the discussion. So, I mean, do you want me just to flip around like some sort of fucking penguin on speed?
No, but it's the same.
Right, okay, if I may be allowed to just address the situation at hand.
Yeah.
So, if a dirty bomb goes... You know what a dirty bomb is, don't you?
It's a nuke, essentially.
Yes, but you know why it's called a dirty bomb?
Because the nuclear fallout is not contained, it's wasteful, it's yucky.
So what they do is they design an atomic bomb that's going to produce an awful lot of radioactive fallout.
Yeah.
And usually it's set off at ground level so that it gets all the dirt and everything, makes it radioactive and throws it out all over the place. This is not the kind of bomb that you want if you want to rebuild a city. Okay, so you set a dirty nuclear bomb off in somewhere like Kiev and you can forget it for tens of years, right? By contrast, the bombs that were used in Nagasaki and
Hiroshima
were airbursts and they weren't dirty. So they basically just knocked all the buildings down and killed the people. Nowadays, you can even have things called neutron bombs, which will airburst and just kill all the people and leave the building standing. They're even better, even purely from the point of view of maintaining an infrastructure, not from the point of view of no people being left. But that's the situation there. But America's shaping up because as Soram says, or whoever it was in the show, in the chat, there are 4,000 troops from the 101st Airborne in Romania at the moment.
Yeah.
There are further divisions being what do you call it?
Deployed.
Readied. Well, they're not deployed yet, but they're being readied for deployment in Kentucky, ready to be shipped over. And it's understood they may be going to Poland. So we could have as many as 20,000 US boots on the ground in Europe. 20,000. Okay, now just to put that in perspective, 20,000 is a quarter of the British Army.
Yeah.
And then by the time
It tells me that Mr. Biden is preparing for war.
Yeah, well, now the biggest thing we have here is the midterms, okay?
Yes.
So if this is going to go, and a couple of weeks ago we said there will be I remember distinctly saying a tactical nuke will be used somewhere, okay, in that theatre. And if it's not a tactical nuke, a dirty bomb's not far off it, right? So the problem is, if this is going to go, it's got to go before the midterms, because if the Republicans take the House and stop this, then so we've basically only got a couple of weeks, and then we're in World War III.
So, like Soram says here, Biden has 2 weeks to get something done before the midterms, and there are now Democrat voices asking for peace talks, 2 weeks to flatten the Zelensky curve.
Well, the thing is, they might be talking about it, but they're not showing anything by their actions that they're intending to follow up on it.
No.
So the question is, are we 2 weeks from the end of the world as we know it?
We could well be, and with that being just around the halfway point of the show, if you're enjoying it, then please leave a like and a share, and if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing that. Now let's move on to the New York Post.
Yeah, so quite interestingly, a New York judge rules that an NYPD cop can keep his job, granting him a vax religious exemption, and there was also another court said that forcing fire service workers to take it was illegal as well, so they have to get their jobs back also. Now, I believe the federal government is appealing, or maybe not the federal government, sorry, I believe New York City is appealing these judgments.
I don't think they'll get anywhere.
But I don't see them getting anywhere, because this is a constitutional thing. It is really good.
Yeah, no, it is really good, and it's a good step in the right direction towards bodily autonomy, towards freedom, right? If you believe in bodily autonomy, let's say you believe in the right to choose, right? You've got to believe in all forms of bodily autonomy, surely. And I mean, my stance on all of these situations is very nuanced, but ultimately, my stance is that I would not ever tell somebody else what to do with their body. Any decisions that they make and any consequences therein must be theirs and theirs alone. And to have your government, to have your state potentially force you to be harmed, that's just not on. No. It's just not on. And I'm not saying that, well, I am saying that people have been harmed, but I won't go any deeper than that. But state-mandated harm is still state-mandated harm, and I just can't get on board with that.
Okay.
Let's move on. 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, this one's pretty sad, right?
Yes, it's sad, but I'll tell you something. That's not someone crashing their car and dying. That's someone dying and crashing their car. That's what that is.
So you think maybe a heart attack and then a crash?
Something's happened. He's had some kind of my view is that's not how people die in car crashes.
Okay.
Right? In my view, and I back that with some experience of car crashes.
Yes, being an ex-police officer, yes.
Yep. That's a medical incident, and then the car has crashed as a result of it.
Well, either way, it's mere speculation at this point.
Yeah. Well, I'm just reporting what I think. I think the mainstream have reported this wrong, in that he is killed in an LA car wreck. I think, yes, there's been a car crash, but I'm not convinced that was the cause of death.
Well, apparently he crashed his BMW into the side of a building in Los Angeles Monday morning. And do you know what? It's like you say, it could well have been a medical incident first. It's not something that we can fully, say, but
no,
we can always
don't know
speculate.
either way.
And moving on to other LA incidents, we go to the sleazeball that is Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein's deformed genitalia to be scrutinized at LA sex crimes trial.
Now, that's a headline and a half.
It really is. The Oscar-winning Shakespeare in Love producer is currently serving 23 years in prison following a rape and sexual assault conviction. Harvey Weinstein's alleged deformed genitalia will be laid bare and discussed in detail during his trial over alleged sex crimes, prosecutors revealed Monday. So essentially what they're saying is somebody has described his manhood as deformed. And
Well,
so
it's not necessarily his manhood. Apparently there was an injury in 1999.
Okay.
It's not an injury, an infection.
Oh, an infection.
And his testicles were removed from his scrotum and placed in his inner thighs.
Okay.
Okay.
That's something.
Okay, so that's something that should be quite evident if one is performing any kind of sex act on him.
I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to that, really.
Well, I mean, we do like to bring you all the information.
Yeah, I mean, still, I'm a bit lost for words, John. You've got me here. You've got me with this one.
And we're only two from the end.
Oh, really? So we better stretch these ones out.
Well, these are the kind of funny ones, so I don't know if we can or not. Right, so here's a cracking headline. 5 tourists trapped underground at Grand Canyon Caverns after elevator breaks.
It looks quite comfortable, to be honest.
Well, they've been there for over 24 hours.
Yeah.
And initially it sounds horrendous, okay? You know, trapped underground at Grand Canyon Caverns. But
look at the picture. That doesn't look horrendous.
Yeah, but well, yeah, that's not the only picture. There were other pictures, but then you read on and find out there's a restaurant and a hotel down there.
So they're getting fed, they're getting watered, they've got staff, they've got beds if they want them and need them.
And they've probably got drink as well.
Yeah, they can just, let's wait for them to fix the elevator. Let's get the Tanqueray out. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So why is this a headline?
I don't know. It's the New York Post. It's just something I took from the New York Post.
I do love the New York Post. They are the gift that keeps on giving. They really, really are. All right, so let's move on to our final then. Our final slide before we go freewheeling. I was dumped by my boyfriend over my inappropriate Halloween costume.
And again, brought to you by the New York Post.
Is that an inappropriate Halloween costume?
Well, apparently it's very low cut at the back.
Okay, so what's the problem with a low cut back? Is it sexual to see someone's back?
Well, apparently she couldn't post it back on TikTok because they would have brought it down for nudity.
Oh, wow. I mean,
but anyway,
also, how is seeing someone's back a problem? Is their back?
Well, obviously this guy's got security issues because she described herself as a plus-sized model and influencer. Yeah.
Excuse me?
She describes herself as a plus-sized model.
I mean,
it's America. She probably is.
I'm looking at these pictures.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these pictures and I'm wondering, apart from the chest region, where's the plus size?
Well, her thighs are quite big.
What's her name? Is it Pia Blossom?
Yeah, so she went to a girly party with her 2 girlfriends.
Right.
And didn't invite her boyfriend because it would have been weird because it was just the girls. And he dumped her.
Oh.
Because of her inappropriate clothing. He goes, "Are you going out dressed like that?"
Oh. You know what? I
know we're struggling. We're actually struggling for news today, believe it or not.
Because... Well, it's not that. It's like I don't understand this type of insecurity. I really don't.
No, I know.
I mean, if someone's going to cheat, they're going to cheat, right? And you're not going to stop them. You're not going to stop them, and then your relationship was never meant to be, surely, or your relationship has come to its logical conclusion. But to literally dump someone because of how she dresses, I mean, I don't I don't give two
Well,
shits how my wife
and
dresses.
it's not as if she dresses like that all the time. She was just going to a Halloween party.
Well, exactly. And you know what? I actually think that they're quite... Well, not the egg one. The egg one's stupid. But I don't really think that bunny costume is all that inappropriate. I really don't.
No, it's a...
It's a bit low cut.
She's dressed as a dead Playboy bunny, and yeah, it looks fine to me.
It's literally, as you say, it's a Halloween costume, for God's sake, right?
Oh, there's a point.
Hmm.
What did Julia Hitler, what's her name, say today?
Oh my God. She's celebrating Rishi Sunak being Prime Minister, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a bit of a gift as well, isn't she, these days?
Yeah. No, yeah. Julia Hartley-Brewster. She is, she's awful. She's just awful. And she's either willfully stupid or she's ruthlessly intelligent. I can't really work it out.
Well, she's playing a game, isn't she? She's just doing it for clicks and likes and shits and giggles, because if she truly believes what she's saying, then she's well, no. She probably is, actually. She probably does truly believe what she's saying, because she's a manipulative bitch.
I mean, they all are, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Do you know what? Do you know the one thing that really pissed me off about her the most, actually? The fact that she said, we're not mainstream media all throughout the lockdown. Of course you are!
She has mainstream media.
You've got a TV channel with Piers Morgan and Sharon fucking Osbourne. You are as mainstream media as they come, love.
I can get one. She has been complicit in the mainstream narrative. She's been a part of the government's propaganda wing.
Yeah, I would say she's been more than a part of it. I think, just like every other mainstream media journalist, she has been a driver of it. More than a part, a driver. And I guarantee you, somewhere along the line, Talk Radio took money to run those government ads. They suckled off the government teat just like every other media outlet here in the country. Now,
I'm pretty sure they did.
She disgusts me. They all disgust me. They disgust me because they will... I mean, she played both sides. She really did play both sides, because she would ask the hard questions, and I say that in inverted commas because never did she ask the hard questions or the relevant questions, but she would also enforce that we needed to do this stuff, and she would never question the actual science. And at the very beginning, it looked like she was going to. She had the Carl Hennegans and the people and the Sunetra Guptas, but something stopped and something changed. It was almost like maybe the station itself was told they can't have these people. I don't know.
I'll tell you what happened. Denotices.
Yeah, denotices occurred.
I'm pretty sure.
We all know that. Sawram says, remember when Julia Hartley-Brewer was pretending to be all anti-establishment and free choice, and there she was getting her and wearing her little covering, going on holiday and tweeting about it.
Yep,
right.
Absolutely. I mean, she did that all the time, and she kept doing it.
Yeah.
And she kept going on about, I can't wait till lockdown finishes, then I'm off to the Caribbean. And at that point, you needed certain things to get to the Caribbean, and then, it just kept...
But she'd use it to get on a plane and use it in all the restaurants in the other country.
Yeah, I'm not using it in England, but I'll use it everywhere else.
Yeah, no. And do you know what? I always said to people, get creative with these systems, and if you want to get around them, find your own ways around them. Absolutely find your own ways around them. But she didn't... all she did was bolster the narratives. And she can claim she didn't. She can claim, I was the one asking the hard questions. No, Julia, you weren't asking the right questions. You weren't asking the relevant questions. And when we asked you directly to ask the right and the relevant questions, all you did on Twitter was castigate those people that asked you to ask the right questions. You are no better than a BBC journalist, an ITV journalist, a Sky News or Channel 4. You are no different. You are mainstream. You bolstered the narrative. You are a hack.
So the government is not planning to open an inquiry.
We know.
So into the safety
of the things.
Treats.
Yeah, they've listened to people who have lost legs, lost loved ones, died, ended up with permanent seizures and the like.
It's fine.
Yep.
NHS has
fine.
reported that the NHS has reported that serious side effects are very rare, and they are safe and approved for use in the UK. They've met strict standards of quality and effectiveness.
I think okay,
fine.
Honestly,
safe and effective.
Look, honestly, if even one person is harmed or killed, you can't mandate something, because to mandate something where one person is harmed or killed, you mandate death, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, what I don't understand, and I'm purely looking at this from a layman's perspective, and you know, go ahead and shoot me down if you think I'm off the mark here, but you produce a vax for flu.
Yeah.
Okay, you give it to people, and I think 16 people got narcolepsy.
Okay. Yeah.
And you pulled it. You pulled it straight away, right? Yeah. So it was on the market for, less than a month or whatever.
Yeah.
What's different?
It's not a question that I can answer on this platform, John.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do have an answer for you, but I dare not. I'm sorry, but I dare not speak it for. I don't want to get you censored, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, I suspect I know what the answer is.
It's financial, and that's as far as I will go.
Follow the money.
Mm-hmm. Follow the money, indeed.
Yeah. So
and do you know what?
I
think that is the logical conclusion to today's event. And if you have enjoyed it, then please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or dropping us a one-time tip on Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent. And of course,
you can also subscribe on Ko-fi.
Well, you can, yeah, but I was going to say, and of course, please like the thing, subscribe to the channel, and give it a share. And we will be back 5 days a week at 2 p.m. UK time. I'm sorry it's not been so funny today, but we are in a banana republic, and you struggle to find the laughs.
And under the threat of nuclear attack.
Yeah, you struggle to find the laughs. We're trying. Believe me, we're trying, but...
Indeed we are. We're very trying.
Yes, we are. And we appreciate every damn one of you, subscriber, patron or not. Thank you all, one and all. So, John, close it properly.
With that, I'd like to thank every one of you for attending this, episode 148 of Chasing Dissent Live. Good afternoon.
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Stop playing with my bust!
Good night, everybody.
Good night, children.
Good night, Daddy.
You're a what?
A pianist!
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
You have been a delightful audience. So, good night. Thank you.
Oh, my bottom hurts. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Tim Bob.
Oh, I did love that hamster so. I took it into bed with me every night, you know.
Good night, everybody.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to go now. I've been standing here for a very long time. I think the end of the show must have come and gone.
There you go. That's our solar system.
You forgot Uranus.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening. You've been very nice to work to.
Good night, Tim Bob.
Good night, Tim Bob.